China has announced its biggest citywide lockdown since the COVID outbreak began more than 2 years ago. The entire population of Shanghai will be restricted to their home.
Oh, here we are then, guys. I am in China's biggest ever lockdown. 26 million people were told that they would go into a 4-day lockdown at the start of April, and here we are, 23rd of April, still in lockdown. I want to give a balanced outlook from my own experience. People are struggling, people are finding it really difficult here, but I've seen lots of online reports where people are starving, they can't get any food, water or supplies, there's absolute chaos in Shanghai, which just really could not be further from the truth. So this is my experience here. Right, so first of all, Shanghai never wanted a lockdown. Now that is the truth, because if you compare it to Xi'an, a city in China, they had a few cases, just a few cases, and they went to a full-scale city-wide lockdown immediately. Whereas for Shanghai, they waited weeks and weeks of having many cases, and they didn't go into a lockdown. Only they decided to do so when it was just out of control. They had too many. And that's because Shanghai really is the economic hub of China. They have to keep it open for so many reasons. But in the end, it just shows that the government, they really want to have this zero COVID implemented into the whole of China. Life has just been totally normal for 2 years in China, whereas the rest of the world, they've been going in and out in lockdowns. And in fact, if you look at the UK, they came out of lockdown way too early. So many people came out of lockdown and they spread the virus, undoing all of the hard work of lockdown itself, and so they had to go back into lockdown again. Whereas what Shanghai are doing right now, they're just going to go for a really hard, one-time strict lockdown, get zero COVID cases, and then we'll be able to talk. That's when we'll be able to get freedom, and then we'll be able to spread, and we can start again. Our lives totally normal. We can do what we've been doing for 2 years, but that cannot be done until we have zero COVID cases. But it's just to show that, you know, many countries in the West, they've had lockdown for months and months and months. This is just like the first proper one we've had, just it's only been a few weeks. And you know, when I tell my friends about this lockdown, they're just always telling me, shut up Luke, you know, we've been in lockdown for months and months and we never complained, you know, you've only been in for a few weeks. But the big thing is that they're just totally different, the lockdowns in China and in the West. So here, it's much more stricter, and you know, it has to be, because when you have such a transmissible variant such as Omicron, which is just spreading like wildfire, then you have to have these strict lockdowns to contain the virus. And so far, no country has been able to beat Omicron. It's just not been able to be possible, and no one thought that China would be able to do it because of the, you know, their high population density. But actually, these lockdowns are working, because if you look at the case numbers, they are dropping gradually each day, and you've got 2 districts at the moment who have got zero COVID cases. So fundamentally, this lockdown is working, and whether you believe in the principle of lockdowns or not, we can all agree the science behind it, it does work, and eventually there will be no cases in Shanghai, I'm sure of it, and that we will all be living a normal life again. Now let me tell you this, because it goes over a few people's head. Lockdown is not meant to be easy. It's meant to be difficult, right? Your whole life has changed. It's turned on its head. You can't go out, you can't go to your favourite restaurant, you can't see your friends, you don't go to work or whatever. Your life is just totally different. People will struggle mentally. That is understandable, right? Whether you're in China or in the West, whatever lockdown you're in, you're going to find it difficult. So I really do want to emphasise how tough it has been here, and I want to compare it to the UK style lockdown, because I'm sure probably the UK lockdown is similar to other countries in the West as well. So for me, I've only got a small room. I've got a bedroom, I've got a kitchen and a bathroom. It's really small. So where you live is just totally different in Shanghai as opposed to, you know, to the UK, for example. And the reason that is important is because the first difference, in the UK, you're allowed to go out. You can have some freedom. You can go out and exercise once a day. So for 1 hour a day, you can go out and exercise. But also, you could go to the supermarket, get essential supplies. You could go to maybe a restaurant and order a takeaway. So you can go to McDonald's drive-thru. You can do all sorts of things. So you can go out. Whereas in China, in Shanghai, you can't. I'm confined to my own room. I'm not allowed to leave my own room at all. The only time we are allowed to go out is for COVID testing. And this is what COVID testing looks like. So yeah, it's really, really tough. You know, you're not seeing anyone, you can't go out at all other than the COVID testing. You know, it must be really difficult if you've got pets. Luckily, I've just got cats, so you don't need to walk them. But if you've got any dogs, you know, you can't walk them at all. Really, really difficult. Furthermore, in the UK, you had these things called support bubbles, and that means you could see groups of 4 or 5 other people, and only them. You can't see anyone else, just your support bubbles. You can go to their home and they can come to your home. And that was really, really great. You could see people, and so you weren't that lonely. Whereas for me, I can't see anyone at all. I'm just stuck in my room, so it's really, really difficult not being able to see my friends in so long. And so this will affect a lot of people, not being able to see people. So clearly, the lockdown in China is undoubtedly stricter than in the West. It is so, so tough. And now you can really understand why some people will be finding it difficult. Out of 26 million people, you will have some cases where people are struggling mentally. And for me, I'm totally fine. You know, mentally, I'm okay. But I do have some friends, they're really, really struggling. You know, so I do sympathise for them. There will be lots of people who do struggle, you know, to live in these kind of lockdowns. But I have to say, whether you're in lockdown in China or in the West, lockdown is lockdown. It will be tough, and you will struggle mentally, whoever you are. Now, the first thing I have seen a lot of reports on are that millions of people are starving. They have no food, no supplies, no water. Is it true? Not really. I can't talk for everyone, of course, but I'll talk for me and my friends. So every household in Shanghai have been given free food from the government. Some people have got meat, others have got like lots of vegetables. So for me, I've got lots of vegetables. I'll show you what my latest care package looked like.
And you can see it's not some little measly package, is it? It's pretty big, and this will last me, I don't know, around a week or so. So we've got some nice cabbage, tomatoes, peppers, got some onions, carrots, all sorts really. So you can make lots of types of meals, especially if you're a vegan.
But yeah, I've not heard of a single case of people starving. So myself, totally fine, lots of food. All my friends, they got lots of food, you know, Chinese and foreign friends. They've all got plenty of food, and of course, you know, wherever they live in compounds of thousands of people. They're all going to get the same stuff. However, having said that, it is extremely difficult to order groceries by yourself online. So every morning at 6 a.m, you have to go on your phone and you have to order groceries from this app. And you know, it's just next to impossible to do it. I've tried so many times, I've given up now because yeah, everyone is just doing it. You tap in their phone, and it's just impossible. But it doesn't mean you can't order groceries, right? Because you can do these things called a group buy. So you buy it within your whole compound or your whole apartment or whatever. And this means if you spend a minimum fee of, I don't know, like 2,000 or 3,000 RMB, then you can buy certain products. And so, you know, you're guaranteed to get stuff. So if you're living with, I don't know, 30 people and you all spend 100 RMB, that's sorted, you can get it. And I've been able to do this every single day to buy lots of different things, essential and non-essential items. And so when I hear in the news that everyone is struggling and millions are starving, it is just not true. The options are there for them. Everyone has the option to get food. People are being given free food as well. So, you know, I can't generalize, I can't talk for everyone. There might be a few cases where this is true. People haven't been able to get food, which is really unfortunate. But generally, it seems like most of Shanghai have got enough supplies, and it's just not true at all, I think. Now, I've seen a lot of reports also that people are really angry, people are protesting about this whole situation, and there's just chaos everywhere. And you know, I've just not seen that. I've not experienced it. My friends haven't seen it either. There's been no protesting here. People are just getting on with it. Like, genuinely, people, you know, might be unhappy with their situation that they're in themselves, but we can see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We do really, really believe that this will end soon. And so, for me, I've not seen any anger. So in my whole compound, there's hundreds of people. No one's been angry at all to the management or the government or whatever. They've been fairly happy. We've all got a big group chat. We're all getting together, and we're all like, fingers crossed, this will all be end soon. Same goes to my friends as well. You know, they're upset, they're annoyed, but you know, there's no collective, you know, protesting or whatever, which we might hear about in the news. So when you look at the news and you see, you know, a couple of, you know, apartments or compounds being unhappy, that's unfortunate, yeah, 100%. But it's normal for a lockdown. People have a different life now. People will be unhappy. There will be unrest. You have to understand that. But when you've got a city of 26 million people, in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small proportion. You know, this is my belief. I just really do think that the whole of Shanghai are just getting on with it, and they are getting by with their lives. People are upset, yeah, of course, that is understandable, but they are getting on with it. And really, there is light at the end of the tunnel because I'm in a very lucky position. So my place where I'm living at, there's been no COVID cases for I think 14 or 15 days now, and so we're allowed to actually go downstairs, we're allowed to walk around the compound, so which is really great. So there's like a whole outdoor garden area which we can walk around, people play badminton and all of these kind of sports. It's really, really great. So people are now starting to live a more normal life. So we're not allowed to leave the compound actually, so we can't walk on the streets. But anyway, everything is shut, we won't be able to do anything. And so when people are saying that this is just going to go on forever and ever, don't believe it. It's gonna come to an end, because for me it is coming to an end, and I'm really, really excited for that. And you know, I've got my fingers crossed for everyone else in Shanghai, all of my friends and all the residents here. It's a really tough time, but we'll get through it, and I'll make more videos when we're out. So I'll see you guys next time.